Good evening, everyone. I was told that they always say save the best for last. I'm the last speaker, so I hope it is the best for today. Thank you so much for staying back. I know it's been a long day for everyone, and it's on a Saturday. So today, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I know I am standing between you and shopping in 1U and contributing to Malaysia economy. I will make it very short and sweet, and I hope I manage to deliver what I need to deliver today. What I'm talking about is going to be thematic investing and how you can actually capture today's opportunity with thematic investing. So this is very different from what you always hear, and I'm a speaker that is going to be on the same panel with all those fundamental fund manager, right? So I'm slightly different, where you don't really look at just fundamentals, but there's a new way to invest, or so-called a new way or new themes to this opportunity, and how you can invest through thematic to capture what is happening in the market right now. First is to give you a recap of 2022 global equity. I think to summarize or to sum up one word, whatever presumption that we made in 2022, I think it was just one word: wrong. Correct? It was talk about inflation should be quite transitory, but it was very sticky until now. And people were talking about rates wouldn't go very high, but we had the fastest rate hike we have ever seen in a long time, and in a very big fashion. And of course, some of them, as we really think that the global supply chain was affected. China was in zero COVID policy until early this year or end of last year itself. So all these things have actually, in a way, contributed to so-called a near perfect storm in 2022. Now, I must assume, I've seen some of you here are more experienced than I do. You have not seen what you have seen in 2022 in many years of your previous investing experience, correct? When you invested in bond last year, also in the rate. Invested in equity, also in the rate. That's very rare. That's something you don't really see often. So what is it this year is, or what are we looking at in 2023 for thematic investing? Now, really some of the, what has happened, the shift in 2021 to in 2022, the shift in the market where you have a rotation. You can see a growth value rotation from those performer to non-performer in 2021, 2022 is also very challenging for thematic investing. Now, I'm not giving you a so-called investment that will defy gravity, but something that will be more relevant in the changing world right now. I mean, the world is really changing. If you look around us, our young generation are always on cloud. They are always on social media. Even the older generation have to learn how to be on social media. How many of you have an IG account here? Very good. I see some of you are more experienced, even also having IG account. I thought it would be the younger one. They always say, yeah, Facebook is for the older generation, IG is for the younger generation. But I see some of you are in the older generation but still having an IG account. Good job. So for us is really, I think some themes have definitely cannot escape what has happened in last year. But to us is because it's an actively managed multi-theme, then it is very relevant for the existing market right now. And of course, looking into 2023, now we are looking at some tailwinds from the slowdown in inflation. I think most of the fund manager will have told you that we have so-called seen the peak inflation, and Fed could be increasing interest rates some more, but at a slower pace, and they are at the tail end already of their interest rate hike. So that's why I think mainly also last 1-2 years, or especially last year, is very important where the winners and the losers, very clear cut, who are the winners, who are the losers, that has actually come out in those portfolio and in that kind of environment. So that's why we think that if you invest in multi-themes and themes that you can even relate to, I don't need to go through the portfolio or go through, you know what is PE, you know what is their next 12 months earnings, NTE, and all those with you. But I will give you some themes that you can definitely relate to. So that's really the changing world. And actively managed, where themes will be changed according to the environment. It is not just a fund on fund or theme will be forever there. That is an actively managed portfolio, which I think it makes perfect sense. Now, why has this thematic investing has become quite interesting to a lot of investors, and it's relevant. It is because of this mega trend shift that we are seeing right now, or we have already seen, and how you can, as an investor, you are investing, you would like to know that there's a shift in those mega trends and how you can invest and to actually make money for your portfolio, right? You're investing for money, for making profit and all, right? So what are the mega trends that we have observed? I can tell you, many people can give me a lot of mega trends, but let's put it into just 4 mega trends. It's very quick and simple. First is urbanization. People are just staying more in the city, which we agree. If you go to Mount Kara, every corner is condo, and they are not letting go of every piece of land. Agree? Even in Subang, in everywhere, urbanization, everyone's just moving to a city, urbanization. Technological innovation, there's more robots. I think in terms of automation, there are certain things are just being taken by robots and you don't need human. Resource scarcity, we all know there are certain resources on this planet is finite, like water and all this, you cannot replace. And also demographic and social change, we have already seen that. Even in Malaysia, we are moving into the aging population, correct? And Japan is the aging population. China itself is also moving towards that direction because people are not having children as many as they used to be during my grandmother's time because it's costly, and you know, now it's also because of the lifestyle, not easy to have children like many years ago. So that's also some change. So as an investor, I've told you about very big jargon, you know, like megatrends, thematic investing. How does that translate to you as an investor to invest? Let's say, yeah, I agree with megatrend, demographic change and all, but how does it translate to you in your portfolio? Very simple. Now, megatrends are very, very vague. So big, like megatrends, like demographic and social change. Anything you also can relate to demographic and social change, right? But how do we derive that? Then you move into a theme. Now, do you know from the megatrend of demographic and social change, there is a theme called pet economy. Wow. You can invest in something that's pet economy. And how in that pet economy, yeah, okay, pet economy, do you see people, anyone stays in Desa Park City? Around there? No? Anyone has a pet? Yes. Okay? You should go to Desa Park City because minimum entry is to have a pet. Okay? Because every time I go there, I see a lot of pet. If I don't have pet, I feel that I'm out of place, right? So, in that megatrend of demographic and social change, people tend to have pet now, the older generation, because empty nest, people will have pet to keep them company. And with the pandemic, when you're locked down at home, a lot of people actually have pets. Second thing, also the younger generation, before they have children, they want to take care, they want to have a pet first to make sure that, oh, they can take care of so-called life being before they have children. That's actually the demographic change that has caused this phenomenon called pet economy. And within the pet economy, then what are the topics that you can talk about? Pet food, health, and insurance. Do you know that pet owners are very particular about their pet food? No, not longer my grandmother's day, they eat leftover. No. Now pets cannot eat leftover. Huh? They eat something that's maybe sometimes better than organic food, you know, full organic. So that's very different, and that is an opportunity for you as an investor. Next, so to show you that a thematic, multi-theme investment can also be active. It doesn't need to be passive. A lot of people think that, multi-theme, they just buy a few funds, fund on fund, then there's multi-thematic. No. It is actively managed, and the portfolio will move in and out of different themes that have already been non-relevant, or maybe sometimes the portfolio manager think that, you know, we make a mistake coming into the theme too early, or that theme is at the end of the cycle. So these are things that's very important for multi-thematic investing. You need to be active. You cannot be passive. Next is some of the themes I will share with you, and I think you will agree with me, because I'm the last speaker and I'm the best. I'm just joking. So, okay, some of the theme is like infrastructure. You've heard of infrastructure. Do you know that in US, the so-called, okay, I give it a very simple layman. The infrastructure department gave out so-called a report card in US. Do you know what they scored? You know, like ABCD, everybody knows, right? So A is, of course, the best, okay, ABCD. They scored, what do you think they scored? The infrastructure in US itself. D. D. That means there's a lot of infrastructure in a way in US that part needs to be improved, okay? Now, when we talk about infrastructure, a lot of people will think of companies like airports, they will think about companies like highways and all these things, but it is the value chain. The supply chain of the infrastructure, where you talk about raw materials, companies in terms of machineries and all. It doesn't just need to be airports, or it doesn't need to be all those toll company. It is all those supply chain to improve infrastructure. And as I mentioned, even in US, the infrastructure system scores D. So I know in KL, every day we see new roads, because yesterday I can go in here, but today is one-way street, right? So it is also improving our infrastructure. And Malaysia, I think for a lot of people who travel here, we have highway that's up in the air. It's getting higher and higher, right? So these are all changing of infrastructure and all. And this theme, I think, is very relevant because even in developed countries, they need to improve their infrastructure system. It is time to improve it. Or it's time to actually, they need to do some work on it, maintenance. Next is energy of the future. Now, this is to invest in cleaner energy and also efficient energy. Now, everybody is talking about clean energy, right? Anyone has an EV? Looking to buy an EV? Hybrid? Okay, now, but you know, a lot of EV cars are already coming into Malaysia, and I think more Malaysians are more open to having EV cars, whether they are young generation, older generation. Now, cleaner energy and all, it is sustainable, all those energy consumption, it's not just about Malaysia, it's the whole world is talking about this, right? Clean energy, CO2. You know, I find it very funny when we have colleagues traveling from Europe to Asia. Actually, I saw in their so-called traveling itinerary, there's like CO2 emission. I was like, what's that? Do you know that we actually track like CO2 emission when you're traveling and all? We are actually encouraged not to really travel so that we don't contribute to the CO2 emission by taking airplane. So that's why Zoom, Teams meeting is all. So this is actually not only in countries, but in the world. Everyone is talking about clean energy. Next is clean water and land. This is talking about water quality. You know, water is water scarcity, yeah? As in, we cannot replace what we have. That's all we have means we have. We've got to use it efficiently. Malaysia is very, very blessed. We don't need to worry about water. You turn on the tap while you're brushing your teeth, 15 minutes, you can turn on the tap, the water running. Actually, that's not encouraged. But, you know, in some countries, in other countries in the European country or Eastern European country, that they only can water plant at certain hours. You cannot wash your cars every day. You only can wash once a week or something. These are the things that you know, water scarcity, and also the quality of water. Last year, I think we always have water cut, right, in Selangor, Ice Selangor, all those things. So these are also important, where one of the themes that will actually resonate very well. I see a lot of people nodding, maybe you're affected by the water cut, you know, all this is very important, yeah? So I think how many times in KL? 11 times last year or something. Also, many, very, 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 very common. And you know now that we have to think of water usage, efficiency in what you are going to recycle your water and disposable and all these things, yeah? Next is digital life. In digital life, we look at, I think one that is very, very common is digital finance and cyber security in digital life, right? They call it simple layman Cantonese. Anyone play online game? Oh. Wow, do you know that average online gamer is not 15, 16? I think it's 30 something. So don't be shy, you can put up your hand if you're a gamer. Now, anything you do, first thing you do, sit down, you're playing with your phone. I was like, what are they playing? Online game, right? Of course, then cyber security is one of them. Digital finance. And also digital finance is a very big thing. I think slowly on and coming. Banks are going on digital, fintech and all those. Anyone uses, who do not use your e-wallet? Wow, only one, huh? So a lot of people use e-wallet now. Soon you will be converted. I never use e-wallet until MCO. You got no choice, right? So now, e-wallet. I can go out having just 20 ringgit in my wallet, but I got e-wallet. Okay, so fintech, as I think that is also changing the landscape of banking. No longer just like you go to the bank. Last time you like to queue up, pay your bills, see your banker. Now bankers also don't really want to see you, make your appointment. And during MCO, how to see your banker? You want to invest unit trust? Sign up online, right? Everything is done fintech, all these things. And of course, with that is cyber security, right? Do you have phishing email? Do you have very suspicious email? Now that anytime email, I don't know this person, delete. All right, don't even dare to open. So cybersecurity is because we are all on social media, we are always online, right? So who will be always online? Everyone, right? Who will not? Who will go offline? When you go offline, everybody panic already. Hey, what happened to you? Start calling you. Why are you not online, right? So cybersecurity is also important. That's in digital life. These are one of the things that I think fintech and also cybersecurity. And again, health technology, do you know that, this is in companies that invest into technological improvement in healthcare. Healthcare is a very, very big industry and it's very regulated. Even to have all this tech into healthcare, it will take time, right? Imagine healthcare and all those uses AI, where now imaging like X-ray, you don't really need doctor to look at your X-ray, just AI imaging. They will pick up very simple things like cancer. They will pick up certain things like diabetes. Very, very simple things that you can save a lot of the doctor's time in that sense. And I think going forward, more and more into technological improvement will be very useful in terms of the healthcare industry. But it's not going to happen overnight. It will take time because it's very highly regulated industry in that sense. Next is intelligent machine. This is something that we added on, I think, or we saw a very relevant in 2022. Wow, the year passes so fast, I forgot what year we are in already. I thought that last year is 2021. So it's, I think, in 2022. Now, intelligent machine also targets or caters or added because of inflation. Inflation is a main thing now. You see restaurants now, shortage of workers and all. After pandemic, I thought that people would think that, hey, I need to work, I need money, like pandemic that time. But it was the other way around. After pandemic, people realized I need to have more work-life balance. Those dangerous jobs, I'd rather not do, So that's why people need to look for worker. You always have shortage of worker you see in cafes and all those things. That's why I think certain job will be taken by robots, automation. It's also, in a way, will help in wage inflation because I have machines to do it. I don't need to have human to do it and then I have to pay more for it. I was just joking with people like on intelligent machine or even on wage inflation. I truly, truly can relate because I was walking one day in a cafe in Mount Kiara and they said they were closed during dinner time. That means they close the cafe at 7 p.m. I mean, dinner time at that area cafe, it should be quite good business, right? But they are closed because shortage of staff. So imagine even wage inflation is a kind of inflation. And that's why I think that also gave a rise to intelligent machines where you have automation, robots to do certain very simple job like stacking of stuff and all those that you can actually invest using automation. And that has, in a way, with the pandemic, and also has caused that rise in terms of investment into automation. Next is, I shall not tell you, this is one of my favorite theme, very easily relatable, pet economy. Now, this theme actually, as I shared with you just now, companies that provide products and services and pets and other things that are, and other animals and all. Do you know pet economy is growing at a healthy and I think high single digit in US, and I think in countries like China and all, it's about double digit. They are saying that, they have more pets in China than human. That's one thing. Like people now, because there's a phrase called humanization of pets. Now, pets is no longer pets, they are family member, right? You have name for your pet already. You don't call it like last time my grandmother just called dog or some Chinese name. But now they have pets, kittens, cats and all those, they have names and all because they are part of their family members. So also this have really important is during pandemic lockdown, people actually adopted a pet. They decided to have a pet. And recently I spoke to my neighbor. I said, hey, that day I went to your house, you have a very big cat. That's the biggest breed cat. I would say quite scary cat, but it's quite cute, but it looks scary because it's big. Say, oh, why did you decide to get a cat when you have 3 daughters already running around, the 3 daughters? That's because of pandemic law, nothing to do, go and buy a pet, and now the pet is stuck for life. So you know that pandemic has also caused a rise in pet adoption, and that people don't throw out their pets. Come on, they keep their pets. So we also actually did a survey and asked, like, after the pandemic, does people love their pets still, or they're going to give up their pets? And you'll be surprised that a lot of people say that after pandemic, they still love their pet. They keep their pet as family member, and some will say that they will celebrate their pet's birthday every year. Got pet's birthday party. So minimum entry is another pet for the party, right? So that's why I think this is a really a theme that's not only in European country or in the Western country, it is also catching face in Asia. As I said, if you don't believe me, just go to Desa Park City. Minimum entry is you must have a pet. Then you see everyone has a pet. And even a restaurant have to cater to those with pets where they have outdoor dining. Al fresco, right? Because they will bring their pet and they will dine in the restaurant. So that's actually what I have to show you on some of the theme. And I think thematic investing, multi-thematic investing, really makes sense in the changing world right now. No longer we have a line of this company does car maker, this company is maybe a car maker or technology IT company. It's a very blurred line already, like Tesla, car company or tech company, it doesn't matter. So this is where you look at different themes that will make sense in the ever-changing world right now. We are in a very, very much changing world right now. And you just go for themes that you think, that you see, and it will make sense to you. And all these themes is not hidden. You will definitely hear. I'm sure one of the questions later, I'm sure, I can foresee, is going to be ChatGPT, right? That's all talk about. So all these themes and all. People talk about pets, people talk about infrastructure, people talk about ChatGPT, people talk about AI, people talk about tech. So for you as an investor, it's very simple to relate to. And it doesn't take rocket science for you to actually understand what it is, right? So that's actually what I have to share. I know I am ahead of time because I am promoting Malaysia economy for you to go shopping later. So that's why I'm finishing a bit ahead of time. Thank you so much for your time, and speak soon.